Welcome to your learningzone.tv in association with Morton Michel. Exclusive training courses for Morton Michel customers. This is part 3 of the course Training on Fussy Eaters. We will summarise parts 1 and 2 of the course, and as before, you can stop and start the training video whenever you like. There are questions to answer at the end, which will help you check that you've understood the key points across the module. So let's remind ourselves of the points we learned in part 1. We looked at food refusal in toddlers, which is a normal part of their growth and development. But let's go over some reasons a child may refuse food. When a child is between 12 to 24 months of age, they may refuse to eat because they are experiencing the neophobic response. This response is an evolutionary protection that stops babies from eating poisonous and harmful substances like rocks, animal feces and berries. This leads to toddlers fearing certain foods, and in turn, they refuse to eat them. At 3 years old, some children go through a food refusal phase where they have disgust, distaste or fear that the food is contaminated. Toddlers may also refuse the food they are given if there is a lack of variety in the food, or it's a new food that they're not used to. Remember, it can take up to 13 offerings before a new food becomes acceptable. Now in part 1, we also looked at your influence on food refusal. You have a big impact on how the children you care for eat. Remember to eat with the children you are caring for and serve a variety of different foods. Don't put too much food on their plates and don't serve excess fluids. This will fill children up, making them more likely to refuse food. And don't hide food on a child's plate. This will make the child's refusal for the food you are trying to hide worse. And it will also cause them to refuse the food you've hidden the refused food in. And most importantly, don't give food refusal too much attention. And don't overreact when a child refuses to eat. This will make them associate mealtimes with a negative attitude. Now remember that most of the time, food refusal in toddlers is just a phase and nearly always passes. If it doesn't, check with your GP for other possible medical issues, which we will review specifically later in this module. When babies are between 6 to 12 months old, they move from mother's breast milk to solids. This time, known as the weaning phase, is a window of opportunity in which babies can be exposed to new foods, flavours and textures. As a baby's brain develops during this time, they can start to learn to like new types of food. So in part 1 we learned about food refusal, our influence on food refusal, what to do about food refusal, and the weaning phase as a window of opportunity. Then in part 2, we looked at other reasons why children may refuse food, which included teething, their moods, anxiety, and a lack of structure at mealtimes. And toddlers may also refuse food if they're suffering from a medical problem. Some medical problems associated with food refusal include anemia, constipation, reflux, oral motor issues, or pain and discomfort while eating. If food refusal persists, refer your child to a GP to rule out any of these medical problems. And there are certain problems caused from food refusal, and these problems can make the food refusal worse. Food refusal in toddlers makes parents anxious, which can lead parents to overreact during meal times. Food refusal can also make children become reliant on snack foods. Now, as a childminder, be patient and remember that food refusal will pass and a child's appetite changes as they grow and develop. To avoid food refusal from becoming worse, don't get stressed at mealtimes and don't give food refusal too much attention. Children may refuse to eat because they are simply not hungry, so don't expect children to eat more than they need. So, in part 2, we reviewed other reasons why toddlers refuse food and learned ways to avoid making food refusal worse. Now, in parts 1 and 2, you were asked to answer a variety of questions to test your understanding of the training points. As we conclude this course on fussy eaters, we hope you get a 100% score in the following questions. Good luck! When does the neophobic phase develop in most toddlers? Is it 3 to 6 months, 6 to 12 months, or 12 to 24 months? When does the neophobic phase develop in most toddlers? Is it 3 to 6 months, 6 to 12 months, or 12 to 24 months? And the answer is, the neophobic phase in most children develops between the ages of 12 to 24 months. During this time, toddlers may refuse to eat because of this evolutionary response that stops babies from eating poisonous and harmful substances. How many times might a toddler be exposed to a new food before it's finally accepted? Is it 3 times, 7 times, or 13 times? How many times might a toddler be exposed to a new food before it's accepted? 3, 7, or 13? Yes, the answer is children may need to be exposed to a new food 13 times before they accept it. This is a slow, lengthy process, and patience is needed. At what age do toddlers tend to develop distaste, disgust, or contamination food refusal? Is it age 2, age 3, or aged 5? At what age do toddlers tend to develop distaste, disgust, or contamination food refusal? 2, 3, or 5? Yes, this type of food refusal develops around the age of 3, when a child has the cognitive ability to associate food with other substances. What advice should you give to parents whose toddlers refuse food? They should be encouraged to offer toddlers alternative foods, not overreact, or offer their child drinks instead of the refused food. What advice should you give to parents whose toddlers refuse foods? Encourage them to offer toddlers alternative foods, not overreact, or offer their child drinks instead of the refused food. And the answer is not overreact. Pain and discomfort from eating is very rare, but what action should you take if pain and discomfort is occurring? Should you refer the toddler to a speech and language therapist, offer the toddler the food 13 times, or refer the toddler to a GP? If pain and discomfort is occurring, should you refer the toddler to a speech and language therapist, offer the toddler the food 13 times, or refer the toddler to a GP? And the answer is, you should refer the toddler to a GP if they're experiencing pain or discomfort while eating, because this can mean that your child is suffering from a serious medical problem. What's a common cause of food refusal? Is it constipation, diarrhea, or eczema? What's a common cause of food refusal? Could it be constipation, diarrhea, or eczema? And the answer is constipation. Constipation leaves the child feeling full and uncomfortable. Right, that was the last question, and congratulations! You have now completed Grub for Life's 3-part training program on training for fussy eaters. You'll find more information on our other training courses at www.yourlearningzone.tv. And now you've completed the course, you can now apply for your certificate of completion there as well. Go to yourlearningzone.tv and choose the training course you want to be certified. Fully complete the online form with the answers you've given here, and we'll send you your certificate. Or if you want to contact our team, please email feedback@grubforlife.com. You are now ready to move on to another course when you are ready. Congratulations again. Good luck and healthy learning. YourLearningZone.tv from Grub for Life, your learning partner.